Kalau sebelumnya gue ngobrol sama cast dari Avatar The Last Airbender season kedua, kali ini gue ngobrol sama kreatornya. Ini ada writer sama ada directornya, salah satu. Jadi writernya sebenarnya banyak, directornya juga banyak, tapi dua orang ini yang bener-bener lumayan terlibat lebih banyak dibanding yang lain-lainnya. Gue ngobrol itu sama Jabbar Raisani, ini dia adalah directornya. Dia ngedirect beberapa lah episode yang ada di Avatar The Last Airbender live action Netflix ini. Di season 1 dia itu ngedirect episode 3 yang Omashu, episode 4 juga Into the Dark dia yang ngedirect, dan di sini di season kedua dia yang ngedirect episode 1 dan episode kedua, dan ya episode 1 dan episode 2 aja. Sisanya nama-nama yang lain ada banyak, ada Anu Menem, ada Amit Gupta, dan benar masih banyak lagi. Dan satu lagi adalah writernya, yaitu Christine Boylan. Christine Boylan ini juga udah terlibat dari sebelumnya. Dia yang nulis kalau yang di season pertama tuh episode 3. Terus dia yang nulis di season ini, dia nulis episode 1 dan episode finale. Dia yang nulis itu. Jadi, dan ini bukan mentang-mentang siapa yang nulis dia yang berarti terlibat sendiri, enggak. Jadi sebenarnya kalau di proses writing series tuh kan ya per episode bisa beda orang yang nulis gitu kan. Tapi ketika mereka ngegarap series ini itu bener-bener kayak kolektif gitu loh. Jadi di writers room itu orang-orang itu kayak bukan cuma si Kristen Boylan, ada juga Gabriel Lanas, terus ada Kylie McDonald dan lain-lain. Itu semuanya mereka ngumpul, mereka ngebahas ini mau dibawa kemana ya seriesnya, ini karakternya mau diapain. Pokoknya banyak hal fun yang terjadi di writer room sebenarnya. Nah di sini gue ngobrol banyak banget dan ini bener-bener spoiler karena pertanyaan gue pun bener-bener related sama apa ya, related sama karakternya, related sama apa yang mereka kerjakan. Gue bahkan nanya soal karakter baru yang ada di sini. Gue nanya banyak hal di sini. Dan ini lumayan panjang, makanya gue pisahin dari obrolan gue sama cast-nya karena di sini kita benar-benar bakal deep dive ke Avatar The Last Airbender season kedua yang gak bakal lo miss lah pokoknya guys ya. So gak usah lama-lama, ini dia interview gue di Breakpots kali ini bareng sama Christine Boylan dan juga Jabbar Raisani. Hey guys, I'm Ryan from BC First Indonesia. How you guys doing?
Ryan.
Hey Ryan, cool arrow.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say thank you for doing this show, guys. I'm a huge fan. This is my childhood cartoon become live actions, and I even have tattoo. Not only this, but also this.
Yeah, love.
Thanks, Glider.
Amazing. It's awesome.
Okay. I'm gonna start the questions, guys. So the original book ran 20 episodes. You have 7. What is the philosophy of the compressions? What gets cut? What gets combined? What gets recentered? And how do you protect the emotional beats while doing it?
I think when the writers' room first got together, we talked about certain beats from the animation that were absolutely going to happen no matter what. We'd put those up on a board, and then we would do one whole wall full of like, what do you want to see? Things you love, things you want to see. The whole room, all 7 writers, just from all 3 seasons of the animation, and Cora and the books, like just the whole world. What would you want to see in the show? And we didn't know if we were going to get to film season 2, and we didn't know if we were going to get to film season 3, but we just started writing it. And so we have this whole wall full of things that we love. Then we did a character chart, and it's all about the character growth. So Aang has a growth journey, Katara has an arc, Sokka has an arc, and we treated everybody with the same level of like respect and dignity, hopefully. If a story played into that growth and helped the characters grow, it would stay. And if it just didn't, we try to find another place to put it or make it an Easter egg or something. And sometimes it would get cut. And then sometimes things get cut because they're just better in animation than they would be in live action. And sometimes things get cut because they're just too expensive.
Yeah, and we're both huge fans of the animated series, and
Yeah.
like every cut is hard.
Yeah.
We want everything in,
Yeah.
but not everything lends itself to live action, like Christine's saying. So it is a balance, and tone also is a thing. There's certain things that work really well in animation that just don't translate to live action. So we want to make sure we're sort of leaning into the things that human actors do really well.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So Zuko alone is the most iconic and fan favorite episode in book 2. It's the episode where is Zuko's childhood with Azula. And I see you changed Azula's character when she was a kid, which is she's not that crazy. This also changed the relationship dynamic between Zuko and Azula, making it so realistic, and I love it. Especially how this relationship becomes the foundation for Zuko decision in the ending. So I want to know, how was the process and the inspiration behind this part?
In the writer's room, we talked about treating each character with a grounded sense of respect. And I think a lot of times you can kind of dismiss certain characters and say like, well, she's a psychopath or whatever. I think for us, we talked about, well, okay, Zuko gets unconditional love from Iroh, and Azula gets very conditional love from her father. So what does that mean? And how do they grow up that way? And it's sort of interesting. We used to sort of always check the siblings against each other. Like Sokka and Katara grow up a certain way. Zuko and Azula grow up a certain way. And we would check each other on that. Like we have siblings and it's like, okay, so does this feel realistic? Does this feel like how siblings would relate to each other and the way their parents were and how they were raised and what culture they were raised? We would keep all of that into consideration, talk to our cultural consultants, and then really gut check just what's sort of the real grounded version of this as a human person, you know? Again, it's a tone thing, like animation can do certain things and live action can do certain things. But I think we just wanted to make sure that everyone felt like a grounded, three-dimensional human being.
Yeah, I mean, I was lucky enough to get to direct the episode that encompasses a lot of what's in Zuko's Alone, and it's something that we talked about a lot, was just making sure that that story that we were going to go a bit deeper on just felt real, and that when it goes to season 2 and 3, we just didn't want Azula to feel like she's just, oh, she's crazy, and she was always crazy. There's a reason that she made the decisions that she made, and she had an unfortunate path that led her one way instead of another, but she's a real person that, you know, is making real choices and not just she's an evil, bad person that we all need to hate.
And this is the important thing. It's not for us to decide or for the show to decide who's good, who's bad. Like, I come from an acting background where you never judge your character. And so when we write that way, we don't judge the character in the writing either. The audience should come up to meet the show, and the audience can have a lot to say about this, who's that, who, you know, they should have done this, or maybe this character should have made this decision. What we really want is for people to feel for the characters. You can feel sad, you can feel angry about what they're doing, and just get really involved in the drama. So the show is not going to judge anybody, but certainly the characters have opinions about each other. I think that's good drama.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to the end of season 3 in Azula's arc, like, you should be feeling conflicted. You should be feeling like, gosh, I feel so horrible for the decision that I'm watching her make.
Yeah,
wow, that's amazing, guys. Okay, there's also another change that is really interesting. Still in the Zuko Alone inspired episode, this is about Pang and his beautiful sister Faye. First, they are original character, different from the animations. And I love how you add a little romantic spark between Zuko and Faye. And I also want to know how you make this part so interesting.
Did you think it was romantic?
Yeah, that's what I get.
That's what I mean. So the audience gets to decide that that's romantic.
Oh, that's genius.
I love it. I love it. They have an amazing chemistry in the show. I think the actors were terrific, and they were also directed beautifully. So
yeah, no, they're great. Yeah, we can talk about a couple of things. So one is the scene where Zuko is hammering on the roof.
My favorite.
Which you love that scene.
I love him just trying to fix things. It's
when you like have to make a show, you have a certain number of days you have to shoot it, and we kept being told by some of the powers that be, hey, you got to cut this scene. We just can't fit it on the board, which is our shooting schedule. And we were just like, no, we're shooting this scene. I will fit it in whatever time you give me. Give me the time, because I have to have this scene.
Put him on that roof with a hammer. It's funny.
And it's also my favorite scene. I think that, you know, when you say you feel the romance between them, there was so little said in that scene, but those two actors are doing so much with so few words. And I think that's where those kind of connections really get formed, and where the audience just gets to watch how they interact with one another.
Mhm.
And the other person is Ricky, who plays Pang.
We love Ricky.
He was so funny and he did such a great job. And there's one moment that makes me laugh when I watch the show. It's when he's slapping Zuko on the back when Zuko's eating and Zuko chokes. That Ricky just went and did
That's
that.
real.
And Dallas actually started choking on the face. And he was hitting Dallas so hard. At the end of the shoot, Dallas was like, did you see how hard he was hitting me? I was like, yeah, it did seem like he was hitting you really hard. He's like, no, I was actually choking, and it actually hurt every time, but I didn't want to say anything because he wasn't really acting the hit. He was actually just smacking Dallas.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, once we learned he was okay, it was
Yes.
pretty funny. Yeah.
But it's just that dynamic. They all three of them had like a really nice dynamic.
Mhm.
And then a lot of what directing is just protecting those relationships and those dynamics that are actually happening on set. And then you get those feelings for the audience. You know what I mean? The audience senses that reality that we were creating on set.
Part of that was going out to that farmhouse to
Yeah.
shoot. We went out to this real farmhouse that was built out there for us.
Yeah, that's all on
And
location,
so,
that's on stage.
yeah, the three of them felt like they lived there. So it started to feel real. And I think that helps a lot. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, that was a beautiful farmhouse actually. Okay,
Oh, good.
that's it, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
So nice to meet
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. Take care.